immigrated from Finland, and there might be documents or pictures in there that could help other people, my distant relatives, find out a little bit about their own heritage. So that's just one idea, right? A few years ago, I took all of my kids' school pictures. Some of them are 11 by 14, and they used to line the stairway of the house, right? And then they ended up in big boxes. I took them all out of the frames and bought some scrapbooks because photo albums aren't quite big enough for those 11 by 14s. So I made these beautiful scrapbooks with all of their school pictures and all of their sports pictures. I wrapped them up and gave them to them for Christmas, and they loved it. I took the frames, I gave some away, I donated some, and voila, empty boxes. I made some space, and nothing was wasted, right? So that's another option. You can do that with all of your pictures. Well, a lot of your pictures. And when I was growing up, okay, I know you guys, some of you are going to appreciate this. My childhood was documented on slides. And we used to sit around the slide projector while my mom pulled the handle out, and we would all watch our childhoods. And I still have the projector, and I still have all the slides because emotional hoarder here. But I took them several years ago. I took all the slides, and I had them converted to CDs. And I gave all my siblings a copy of these CDs. And now all I have to do is pop them in the computer, and I can still relive my childhood. One of my son's favorite pictures that he keeps in his room was when I was about 5 years old with one of those hair dryers. You remember the kind with the plastic bonnet? And I'm sitting there reading a magazine with the big hair dryer, and he just loves that. So that's another option, putting them on discs.
What did you do with the slides?
Oh, they're still in my closet at home. They're probably deteriorated. I had to buy a new screen because the screen was deteriorated, but emotional hoarder, right? I'm not at a point where I have to downsize yet, but that's okay. I'll get to that. Choices. One of the choices that some people like to do when they have to downsize is get a storage unit. I have a storage unit that I pay $60 a month for, right down the street from me. It's 5 feet wide, 5 feet deep, and 5 feet tall, and I pay $60 a month for it because it's got some of my stuff in there that I don't want to part with. I pay $60 a month for that. Is it practical? No, not really. But if I had an attic, I wouldn't have to do that, right? But that is a choice. Some people, when they downsize, they like to put some stuff in storage so they can swap it out once in a while. And they don't really have to let it go. But like I said, maybe not so practical. Okay, downsizing is a mindset. It is a mindset. Instead of thinking of it as downsizing and getting rid of stuff, let's turn that around a little bit and turn it into right-sizing. Let's right-size. Let's keep what we need to fit our new life and be excited about the new adventure that we're going to. We have ways of preserving our memories, right? We carry them in our heart. So let's try to get the mindset of right-sizing. Here are just some examples, okay? Right for your new home. When we right-size, I love this. When we right-size, we focus on what is important now. What's important now is where we are now at this point in our life, okay? We love our things. We want to hold on to them, but sometimes we have to be practical. Oh, I hate that sometimes. We're moving for a reason, right? We're moving for a reason. Let's embrace it. Let's embrace it and look at it as a new adventure. It's something new, and we're going to make new memories, right? We're going to have new stuff. Okay? Next. Right-sizing, okay? Right-sizing does not mean, oh, how much of my stuff can I stuff in this little new space I have, right? I have a limited amount of space. How much can I stuff in there? Well, it doesn't work like that. You have to think about a lot of different things. Not only what will fit, but say, for example, people who need a wheelchair or a walker, they need space for mobility. So when you do space planning, it's vital. It's vital for a seamless move. You have to take all of those things into consideration. And yeah, you're going to have to give up a few things, but like I said, it's right sizing, not downsizing, new adventure. Okay, so what do you do with all of your treasures that you just can't take with you? Well, one of the first things we think about are our friends and family. Oh, what can I get? And we were just talking about this earlier. What can I give my children? What would they like to have? Oh, I wonder if they'll want this or that. How many of you have had this conversation with your kids and your relatives? How many of you find that they don't want a lot of your stuff, right? Especially your adult kids, because they have their own stuff. They're creating their own memories, and especially if they have children. You know, they don't really want your stuff. And that's just the way it is, right? But that's okay. That's okay. They have their own memories, and they have their own treasures. So we just have to think of other options, right? Okay. Charities. I have St. Jude's and Shriners on there because those are charities that are very dear to my heart. And a lot of people want to donate things to their favorite charities to help. And that is awesome. That's awesome. And it's okay. I mean, because you know that it's going to go to a good place. You know it's going to help people. And it's okay. You know, if your kids don't want your stuff, it's okay to give it to a charity and take the tax write-off, especially if you need the tax write-off. So it's an option, and it's a good one. Okay. How many of you have had a yard sale? How many of you had more than one? I had one yard sale in my life, and I said, oh, never again. Because y'all know how it is. You have something, you take all the time, you set up the tables real nice, and you put the little prices on it. You have this little $5 Fiesta Bowl. Oh, yeah, $5 on the Fiesta Bowl. And someone says, I'll give you 50 cents. Yeah, no, get out of here. But some people like to sell their own things, and that is an option. We were talking about eBay. Okay, you can sell things on eBay. You can go to Facebook Marketplace. You can go to the Neighborhood app, and you can start liquidating your stuff one thing at a time. Some people would enjoy doing that, not me. But that's okay. Everybody has choices. Choices, that's a key word here. You have choices. But you also have to be wary of selling things yourself, because we've all heard the bad stories, right? And especially if you're going to invite strangers to your home. You know, especially today, we got to be very, very careful. Very careful. All right, alternatives. Traditionally, people have estate sales. It's been going on for a long time, right? When you have an estate sale, you have an agent and their crew there, and you might have like 3 days, sometimes 3 or 4 days. And what happens is they open it up to the world, and you have all these people traipsing through your house, sometimes with dirty shoes and sticky fingers, but you know, that's part of it. And I did some research, and the numbers say that when you have an estate sale, that on average, 30 people are going to walk into your house who actually have the intent of buying something. Other people are just being nosy. And I've done that. I've gone to my neighbor's estate, said, oh, I wonder what their house looks like. I wonder what they got. You know, and sometimes you buy things. But the other part of the estate sale is every day the prices go down. You know, the first day, all these good prices. It looks good on the first day. Second day, well, we got to slash it by 25%. By the time you get to the third day, well, we're going to just slash it because we got to get this stuff out of here. and a lot of bartering goes on. I had a friend who got an oriental rug, a gorgeous oriental rug, for $50 one time. But that's what happens. How many of you have gotten good deals at estate sales? You guys, have you been to? Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. So it's 2025, everybody. And I have a hard time imagining that sometimes. I go to write the date, and I'm still putting 19 something. But it's 2025, and technology has taken up a big part of our lives, right? Technology is part of everything we do. And what we believe is the best option are the online auctions. Okay, and there are some options there as well. What we do with Caring Transitions is we do online auctions. And the difference is between an estate sale and an online auction, but basically what you see here is instead of 30 potential clients, just in like the Hampton Roads area, we have 16,000 vetted bidders registered just in the Hampton Roads area. Plus, with the internet and computers and the 350 Caring Transitions locations in the United States, we have so many people who can just get on the computer and look to see what's for sale. And it's set up by categories as well, right? And we do have some handouts for you, so I see you guys taking pictures. We'll have this for you. We'll have some information you can take with you. So, and the other thing is the online auctions last for 5 to 8 days instead of 3. And instead of the prices going down, the prices are going up, especially on the last day when everybody's waiting for the end of the bidding, you know, and that's when they start bidding and bidding and bidding. And it's a lot of fun to watch as well. So that's another option. And I personally think that it's the safest way to go because no one is coming to your house. Nobody knows where you live. It's just all online, and it's usually taken care of by an agent such as us. And you don't have to touch the money. You don't have to do anything except watch it. Watch the fun as people bid, right? Okay. Now, I've given you a lot of the options that you have. I want to introduce Sue Henderson. She is the owner of Caring Transitions, and she's going to take it from here.
Let's give Deb a really big hand here. Let's give her a hand. I'm going to take that. The phone number up is a 24-hour answering machine, so if you're interested in contacting us, let me give you a different number, and the handouts do have a different number. It's 757-563-3634. Put the other slide up just for a minute. Okay. What we're going to do is we'll talk about this, and Emily is going to put all the slides together so you can have them to look at when we're finished. But what I want to do is, Deb talked about being a mindset, and she gave you a lot of options to consider, and then we'll talk about some other options. What are some of the things that rang true with you when you thought about some of the auctions, some of the things that you have done, some of the things you might do? Anybody have, excuse me. Anybody have any takeaways from Deb's? Like, did you put stuff in storage? Yes, ma'am. I used heritage auctions. Heritage auctions? For artwork? Okay. Anybody else? Did anybody use storage to put some of their stuff in? Storage? I love the idea, if you have frames, take the pictures out of frames and even maybe make a table, a coffee table album that you could look at from time to time. And Ancestry.com is great because you go look through some of those old pictures, you don't know who they are, you send it to them and they can find somebody who might be looking for relatives or something. I thought that was a good idea too. Any other takeaways that you thought about some of the options that she gave you? How charities? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had several questions about that, and I'll answer that more in detail at the end, because everybody's kind of interested. Like, some people that I know still have their houses, and because they didn't know what to do with their treasures. It didn't all fit when they moved, and we could definitely help you out with that, and I've had a lot of questions about that. So we can talk about that today. This slide is about right-sizing as a process. Do you agree? It's a process. It's something that you go through. So first of all, you have to identify a timeline for the process. Where are items going to go? And Deb gave you some of the options. Things going to your new home, things that need to be relocated, family and friends, things to be sold, whether it's auctions, estate sales, if you want to have Facebook Marketplace and have strangers come into your home. I don't think that's, and then things to be donated, and things that are really unusable. And then after that, everything gets cleaned out. What to bring with you? We say need, love, and want. You do need furnishings, clothes, perhaps some decor, things you love. Don't forget about your little plant. You've got to take your little plant with you. And what can't you wait to get rid of? All the paperwork and files and stuff that you've been carrying around forever and ever. Want to get rid of those. And this helps you get started when you think about it. Furniture, clothes that you haven't worn before. They say if you're in a closet, in your cupboard, in your clothes closet, what you use, put back on a different hanger, and you see which ones you've used, and the ones that haven't changed the hangers the other way, you haven't used that yet. So that kind of says, oh, well, I really liked it, but I haven't used it. So we always say work at a small space at one time, because it is overwhelming, very, very overwhelming. Then if you do a small space, then you kind of pat yourself on the back. Schedule a limited amount of time and finish one area, and then go on to the next. Okay. This is a moving checklist. Some of you guys have already moved, but it's nice to see about 8 weeks out. Do you think that you need more time than 8 weeks to try to get ready to move? Yeah, most of you have already moved in here. But somebody that you know that might be moving, at least 8 weeks, sometimes 2 or 3 months until you I have a client, he has 3 daughters. It's taken him 6 years to decide that he's going to move. So this 8 weeks is kind of when you're ready. This is kind of when you're ready, not 6 years before. And this will be in your packet too. So I won't have to go through any of these unless somebody sees something up there that they wanted to talk about. But it kind of gives you an idea and gives you a plan. And when we have a plan, we seem to be able to stick with it and look at it, write it down, get it out of your head, put it on paper. Yes, ma'am.
So what percentage do you take
When we do the auction? Yeah.
I know that I gotta go.
Okay. Okay, everybody's interested about the online auction, so let's go there. In your packet, I have some packets if anybody wants it. Some of the is there. We have relocation services. We have the slides that are up there, the downsizing, some that weren't up there. So let me tell you about how the auction works. Like Deb said, it's safe. It's very safe because we do not publish the address. We say it's in Norfolk, it's in Virginia Beach, it's in Pungo, so they kind of get an idea of where it's at. We come in and we set up what we call lots or groupings. So the groupings might be a group of lamps. Grouping might be some clothes. Grouping could be jewelry. Grouping could be pots and pans. But we just don't take the whole kitchen and make one big grouping. We separate it out into the lots. My people come in, they photograph at least 10 different photographs, up, down, what's it made of? Is it wood? Is it wood-like? Is it, whatever you can think of. Does it turn on? Does it work? If it's a lamp, we turn it on in the picture so they can see that it works. So they take all these pictures, they stage everything, we put a SKU number to it, and then the auction goes online for about 5 to 8 days, depending on how much treasures that you have that you want to, get rid of and have somebody else enjoy them. So during the 8 days, we're very transparent. You can watch the auction. And at first, everybody's saying, oh my goodness, it's not going up, it's not going up. It starts at $1. And then they say, oh my goodness, it starts at $1. But there have been, just recently, costume jewelry. It's sold for $120, just a lot of costume jewelry. Deb has found on one of the auction, an antique car went for $35,000. And if it's something that's very valuable, we can put a reserve on it. So we take all these pictures, we have the online auction, all the bidders have, we have their credit cards, so they pay, they're vetted, they pay. Because somebody asked me, well, what happens if they want to win something and they didn't pay? Well, they have to pay because we have their credit card. I process the invoice. Only then, when they've paid and have an invoice, do they get the address of where your house or place is. Then my people come and chaperone them to their winnings. They just don't come in nilly-willy. We make sure that everything's very well protected. To answer your question, you get 60% of the auction. I get 40%. But the lots that we have, I charge $10 a lot because that takes care of the labor, that takes care of all the setup, that takes care of my people being chaperones when they come to your house. There's a lot involved in setting up the groupings. And we like at least 75 to 100. I've had houses that have 200 and 250. If you go over 250, we don't charge you the $10 anymore. So quick math, and it's not really quick because I've done it before. I'm cheating. If you had, and this is $4,000 that the auction made, say it's a very low number and made $4,000, and you had 100 lots. 100 times 10, who's faster than me with math? Anybody? 100 times 10? $1,000. So $4,000 from the auction, 60% of that is $2,400. So 60% you get $2,400, but I would like you to pay me for all the work we did. So we take that $1,000 off because you had 100 lots. Does that make sense so far? Okay, then from the $2,400, you get 14. Up front, I ask for $500, and that's for advertising, but you get $250 back. So from $4,000, you would pay $1,000 for my labor and setting up and chaperoning. That gives you $2,400. And off that $2,400, you get $250 back. So it's $1,400, and then it would be $1,650 out of $4,000 sale. Is that, see, I told you I can do quick math. Yes, ma'am. Who sets the prices? Do you talk to the person, the client, or do you all set it? That's the beauty of it. We don't set prices. It just keeps on bidding and bidding and bidding. Unless, like I said, you have something that's very, very valuable, and we put a price, a reserve price that they have to they have to start at that. I mean, it can go, maybe if you had a piece of jewelry that was very valuable and you wanted at least $1,000 for that jewelry, it would start at $1. But unless it made it to $1,000, then it doesn't sell.
So everything starts at $1?
Yes, ma'am. I know it's scary. It's scary. But in the packet, or you could write this down. Can you go back to the me slide? If you go to, you can just go to CT Bids, C like in Charlie, T like in Tango, bids, BIDS.com, and put in any zip code. And you can see the auction, the live auction, and you can see how it's going up. I don't have anything right now. We're working on a client's home right now, and mine is virginiabeacheast.ctbids.com, but any ctbids.com that you put in, then you go there and put a zip code. Maybe you lived in Ohio, and you want to see if there's one in Ohio. You want to see a sale that went on in Ohio. I would recommend putting the zip code 30809. Just go to ctbids.com. You don't have to do the Virginia Beach East. ctbids.com. Put in zip area code 30809. And that's in Georgia. I used to work for Andy Beard in Georgia. He is number 1 or number 2 throughout the whole franchise, and he always has great auctions. So you can see how it bids, you can see how it goes up. And people wait until the very last day because they're watching. They're watching to see. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. What kind of other questions do you have about the auction, perhaps? And remember, that number is it's 757-563-3634. We will come to your house or your apartment and see what you have, tell you how many lots you have. If there's several people that live here that really have some things that they want to get, to release and have somebody else look at their treasures, I'm thinking we'll have to ask the establishment if we could get a few people together and do like one, don't want to call it a warehouse sale, but a one combined sale. We could probably do that too if you have something that you would want to think about. But generally, we go into the home. It takes us about 4 days to make the lots, and then about 5 to 8 days for the auction, and then a couple days after that till we get invoices paid. Yes, ma'am. We would physically come in. Well, that's hard to say. Depends on how much you have. The first time would be to come in and kind of look, see, say, hey, how many lots that you would have. And then we would come in and take pictures of the lots. And if you have a lot of lots, it might be a day or two. If you don't have a lot to set up, I'd have to look at it. I'm sorry I couldn't really answer that question in detail. Anything else? Well, this will be on where you could pull it up online for I don't know, how does that work here? Pardon? On the hub? Okay. In the slides that we showed will be on the hub. I do have some handouts we'll put in the back. There's a lot more of you here than I do have handouts, but Emily will make some handouts, extra handouts for us if we need that. So thank you for coming today. Anything that you would like to share that we did not answer? Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to know who had the Yadro.
This gentleman right here. And I meant to ask you, did you actually go to the factory at all to get them in Spain? You went to Spain?
We got a little in 1993, and it's no longer available. So what do you do with one item that's worth $695?
That we would have to put it with another auction. He said when he bought his Yadro, it was $625 back in 93. So we could see what we could, but it would have to. We can't do just one. We can't do just one. And I hope you enjoyed your Spain trip. That's great. We were in the military for 30 years and got to go to Europe, Spain, South America. Okay. Thank you for coming.